We set up all of these huge obstacles in our head, and they prevent us from ever starting. Let me tell you a story about one of my students, okay? Listen to this. So she said to me, Chalene, I am a new mom for the 5th time, okay? 5th time new mom. I haven't been to work in 100 years. I have 0% zero amount of time left to do this. I don't know how to use technology. I don't know how to build a website. I don't have any expertise. I really don't. And I said, okay, well, fill this out. Go over this with me so we can figure out where you truly do have interest and expertise, because I'm talking to you right now. You do have expertise that you're so close to it, you don't even realize it's a thing. You don't even know it's a big deal. You don't even know that somebody else is trying to figure it out. All right. So one of the things that we asked her as we're helping people figure out their thing is, what's something people always ask you about? And she narrowed it down to nursing her baby. She's one of those moms that like makes all organic, homemade, natural baby food. You know, the mom. And also like breastfeeds her children until they're age 2. And also every one of her kids is on a insane sleep schedule. Right. And she's just like, that's not a skill. I'm like, yes, it is. All right. So instead of picking one of those, I said, just go to your social. She had a very small social media following, and ask them, of these 3 things, what's the thing that you would most want to learn from me? And to her surprise, she thought it was going to be like how to make organic baby food, thought it might be nursing. No, to her surprise, the number 1 response she got from her followers was that people wanted to know, how do I get all of my kids on a sleep schedule? Because mom needs her sleep. Okay. Stay with me. So here's what we did. I said, you don't need a website. Do you have a smartphone? Yes. Do you know how to use Zoom? Yes, of course. #COVID. Everyone knows how to use Zoom. Great. Can you set up a Venmo or PayPal? Yeah, I can do that. Wonderful. Do that and tell your audience, anyone who's interested, I'm going to take a very small group of people through 6 weeks, and I'm going to teach you how to get your children from newborn to whatever age on an appropriate sleep schedule that prioritizes their health and yours. And she's like, I don't need a website. I'm like, just trust me. That's all you're going to do. Okay. So she put it out there to them. And I said, charge a very low introductory price, because they're going to do this with you live via Zoom for 6 weeks. You're going to go live with them once a week for 6 weeks via Zoom. So then she charged them, you ready for this? $49. She took the payment via Venmo. She sent each one of them an email link to the Zoom. Each one of the Zooms was recorded. When she finished, she had an interactive, ready-made, evergreen course that now she could sell for years to come. I know she didn't have time. No, she didn't have time to build a website. She also didn't need to. She didn't have time to grow her social media following. She also didn't need to. The course was so powerful. What do new moms do? They sell it word of mouth. Now, this is my advice to you. Do the bare minimum to start making income online, because you need to understand that it's possible. You're overthinking this. You're making it too big. You're thinking that you have to be a perfectionist. You're thinking you have to be the most informed. You have to have a big following. We set up all of these huge obstacles in our head, and they prevent us from ever starting. And so there you sit 6 months or a year later, exactly where you were, because you've been overthinking it. Some of you are so caught up in things being perfect that you've already failed. And I know that stings. And I told you I'd be honest with you. If you're afraid to make a mistake, you are failing. If you're making mistakes, you're winning. If you're afraid to make mistakes, you're failing. And the people who are unafraid to make mistakes are kicking your ass. Let me share with you an example. So I have a lot of friends and students who follow what I do because they know I know marketing. The reason why I've had so many #1 fitness infomercials, the reason why I've built 7 different 7-figure businesses, my husband and I have, and sold many of them. And the reason why we are today 8-figure earners is because I know business and marketing. And I have the joy of making mistakes. So write JOMM, JOM, write that in the comments for me, right? JOM, joy of making mistakes. I experienced the joy of making mistakes. And I'd like to share with you one of my most joyful experiences from this week. This happened this week. So one of my friends, she's also an entrepreneur. She was a Marketing Impact Academy student who I since become friends with, and she's super successful. But she's like, I'm watching what you and Brock are doing with your Instagram membership. And, I'm watching everything that you're doing. I just want to let you know that I'm following your email sequences. I'm following your customer journey. I'm looking at the way you've set everything up. So I opted in for one of your free downloads. And she opted in for the download that's called 50 Instagram stories. It's called 50 Instagram story ideas, right? And it's what we call a lead magnet, which I will teach you when you become a Marketing Impact Academy student. My MIA students already know all about lead magnets. Okay, so how many of you are familiar with a lead magnet, right? Where you give somebody your email address and then you get something for free. So she downloads the 50 Instagram stories. We started using that opt-in about 1.5 years ago. We've had over 100, are you ready for this? Over 100,000 people have downloaded that. It has resulted in a multi-million-dollar business. Okay. She texted me 3 days ago and she said, I don't know how to tell you this. Oh my gosh, Chalene, I feel sick, but I have to tell you this. I'm so sorry to have to say this, but I just downloaded your 50 stories, the template that you give away as a freemium, and it is loaded with typos. And she started screenshotting it and she goes, some of the 50 stories are repeats. I'm so sorry. Please, just tell me if you don't want to hear this, but like, I need you to know this. And I'm so sorry. And she started screenshotting all of the mistakes. And you know what I experienced? Joy. Because even with all those mistakes, it's made us millions. Even with all those mistakes, it served over 100,000 people. And this part is going to freak some of you out. It's also kind of on brand. And here's what I mean by that. Please don't take offense to this. I don't like working with people who can't see big picture because they get tripped up on freaking typos. Get out of here. I ain't got time for you. If you can't understand the concept because we forgot to put an apostrophe S, you're not my person. Get out. I don't like small-minded people. I want a big-minded person who's like, oh, I get it. Like, even if all the words are transposed, I understand the message. I'm here. That's who I don't want to work. So the person who we've offended and they're like, I don't want to work with this company. They've got typos. Good. Get out of my car. You're going to see a lot more typos. I have the joy of making mistakes. Remember that, because the people who are afraid to do shit because they're afraid people are going to judge them, they ain't making any money. Because they're still waiting for the perfect time. They're still waiting for things to line up. They're still waiting for, well, when I have enough followers, well, when I make enough money, well, when my kids go back to school, well, when I finish my degree, well, when I have the certificate, when I have the credentials. Freaking start. You're failing right now. You're failing right now because you haven't started.